What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brendan. I'm BMNX45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have a rule and errata update for the Digimon TCG. We got a update to the rules back on Friday there when they did the news dump. Most of this is probably going to be ST22, but there's actually a lot of little updates that they've done around ST22, and so we're going to be looking at that as well. But hey, if you enjoyed this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. All right, well, we're going to get right into it because Q&As always take a while here. You can see right here we have updates for cards like Errata X. If when you use an option card effect triggers, what is the timing when it can activate? You can see it's been updated November 21st. It can be activated after activating the used option card's main effect. So you gotta, after you use the main effect, then this will activate. Does the when you use this option card effect trigger if an option card effect activates by a method other than using the card? No, it doesn't trigger if an option card's effect activates without using it, such as activation by a security effect or delay. The when you use an option card effect doesn't trigger, so you have to use it like as its main on play. And then another update here is an option card use cost is 1 or less when used from the hand due to an effect such as BT2 Glorious Burst or BT8 Crimson Mode's first effect. When such a card is used, does it trigger this card when you use an option card with a use cost of 2 or more effect trigger? No, it doesn't. If the card cost itself is reduced when it's used from the hand, it is considered to be using an option card with a use cost after the reduction is applied. So you have to have, if you have a reduction, then you potentially can activate abilities. You also have an option card has an original use cost of 2 or more, and when I use it when the cost to pay is reduced to 1 or less. At such times, option card has an original use cost of 2 or more, and I use it when the cost to pay is reduced to 1 or less. At such times does this card's when you use an option card effect cost 2 more trigger? Yes, it triggers. If the card's cost to pay is reduced and not the use cost itself, it is considered to be using an option card. Okay, so basically is reduced. So basically that's like when you play something for free. You haven't reduced it, you just used it for less. So that's kind of like, well, Talmon would be a good example because Talmon plays an option card for free when digivolving the BT17 version. So that kind of, they're just trying to separate the two, right? If you reduce the cost, it doesn't count. If you pay less, because you play without paying the cost, it's different. Because then you still technically played a 2-cost card. You just didn't have to pay the cost because ability allowed you to do it for free. I use an effect to use an option card with the original cost of 2 or more without paying the cost. Okay, so such times as this card, yes, it triggers. So that's similar kind of wording. That's without paying the cost. This one is actually really weird. The cost to pay is reduced. That's interesting. I guess it'd be like, it's really weird wording. It's kind of weird. So you also got Renamon. A lot of these are going to be the same. So yeah, timing's the same. Trigger effect is the same. This is the same. This is all the same right here. A lot of this is going to be the same. Kyubimon. A lot of this is going to be, yeah, it's all confirming all these new like trigger conditions. Yeah, Crimson Blaze again. So they're basically using a lot of, going back and using a lot of these updates, for basically all the different, Cubimon BT17, Cubimon BT17. It's using all these same. Okay, this is a new one. We got a Rapid X. This card is in the battle area, and it has X antibody in its Digivolution cards. My opponent's Digimon 4000 DP or less, and when attacking effect attacks. And now it's suspended at such time. This card's all turns effect causes the Digimon DP to become 0, which is processed first. The deletion by rule check or that Digimon's when attacking effect. The deletion by rule check is processed first. As soon as your opponent's Digimon attacks and suspends, that Digimon's when attacking effect triggers, but the rule check occurs before it activates. The Digimon with 0 DP will be deleted upon rule check before the when attack. Okay, so basically if you get DP minus for suspending, it's automatic, even if your player turn priority. So it'll actually go to 0. So it just dies, which is kind of cool to know that you can use DP minuses when someone suspends or when attack, and to get around their when attacking effects. Sukuimon Maid Mode. What cards can be placed as a security card by this card's on play when drawing effects? 1 yellow Tamer card or 1 single color cost 5 or lower option card. When I use this card's on play when Digivolving effect to place a card as a security card, do I reveal the card to my opponent? Yes, you reveal it. After revealing the card to your opponent, you place it. So they know that you placed a legitimate card and not illegally placed something. Because if you add it to your hand later, then they potentially can't know if you added the right card. I mean, it's very hard to not get caught in that scenario, but it is possible. So you got to be legit and show that you put the right card in there. This is the same. Same with these two. Majiramon from EX5 has the same, I guess the same option card activates, so they're talking same as him. Yeah, same abilities right there. And I guess Vajramon, yeah, I guess Vajramon too are same abilities right there. What else is it? Renamon's gonna be the same. Yeah, same. Just basically, they're just going over a lot of this stuff. Same with Yukomon from EX4. They're going over a lot of this stuff. Any cards that have the same kind of play option cards for free, or abilities that activate when you play an option card. They're basically going over all those abilities right there. You got BT10, yeah, same thing. That they're going over for this new starter deck. So Maid Mode has a different one. It's currently my turn. After the turn when my opponent activated Congo, if I activate this card's when digital effect and use an option card, can I place that option card on the top of security stack instead of placing it in the trash? No, you can't place it in the trash. Congo's effect prevents cards from being added to your security stack, so the used option card is trashed. So when I use this card's when digital effect to use Yellow Memory Boost, can I use Yellow Memory Boost's main effect to place that card in the battle area? What happens to place the option card used with this on top of your security stack face down instead of placing in your trash. And this card's when digital effect at such times. So can't be placed in the trash, therefore it can't be placed on top of your security stack. So because it's delayed, it stays on the board. You would only activate as much as you can. Can use this card's when digitaling effect to use BT for tactical retreat. When I place this card itself on top of security stack at such times after using tactical retreat will be placed in the security stack, but place the option card used with this effect on top of your security stack face down instead of placing it in your trash effect. Yes, it will be placed in your security stack. And then here's a new one. If I use this card's when digitaling effect to use offensive plugin or offensive plugin, main effect linked that card to a Digimon, what happens to the option card used with this effect on top of your security stack face down instead of placing it in your trash? In this card's when digitaling effect at such times can be placed in the trash, therefore it can't be placed. Yeah, so if something keeps it from going to the trash, you can't use the ability to put it on the security stack. And then EX2 Viximon's gonna have the same abilities, all the trigger abilities that we talked about with with the first Renamon and stuff like that. Same with EX2 Renamon, Cubimon, and Talmon, and Sakuyamon. And I think that gets us through all of them. We also have BT 5 Shoumon DX multiple effects trigger when this card digivolves. In what order can be activated? Player can choose activation order. I don't know if this is just like stuff they forgot to update from earlier. Can I trash just one card in my hand for this card's when digital effect? No, you can't. A buy condition can't be met if only some of the required actions are performed. The conditions for this when attacking effect require you to trash a specific number of cards in the hand. Golden Ripper back from BT1. After activating this card's main effect, do Digimon that later enter the battle area by being moved or played also gain this card's effect? Yes, they do. What happens when this card is revealed upon security check? It's trashed. A Digimon gains this card's effect and attacks at such times. Can I activate the when attacking effect gained from this card? Its effect after the attacking Digimon digivolves by another effect? Yes, you can. BT3 Lady Devimon. If the when... Okay, so basically the same option card triggers as what we've been talking about before, and same with Lilithmon. Same option card triggers. Same with Mimi. BT3 Mimi. It's got option card triggers as well. Now we're getting into the actual ST22 stuff. If the when you use an option card effect triggers, what is the timing and when can it activate? Okay, so same thing. So same thing here as the other effects. Renamon's got one, the new Renamon. After using this card's when moving on play effect to trash a card in the hand, can I choose not to return a card from my trash to the hand? Yes, you can. What does Talmon from ST22, what does can't activate when digitaling effects mean exactly? This effect prevents when digitaling effects on cards from activating. I used a card affected by can't activated when digitaling effects to attack. Can I activate that card's when digitaling when attacking effects? Yes, you can. The effect can activate if it's triggered upon when attacking timing. Especially if you can't activate it when digivolving, then you haven't used the once per turn because you weren't allowed to activate it. So you always get to use that when attacking as well. And then if this card is affected by can't activate when digivolving effects, can other effects activate when... can other effects activate its when digitalling effect? No, it can't be activated. However, in the case of effects such as activate as an effect of this card effects, that activate another card's effects as if it's that card's effects, such effects can't be activated. So that's kind of a tricky wording, but like, yeah, if it allows you to, if it's another ability that allows you to activate such, like basically steal the ability, I think it works that way. It's kind of weird wording because I don't know. I don't exactly. It'd be nice if they had an example of what that was, However, in the case of effects such as activate as an effect of this card, yeah. So basically, yeah, it basically steals the effect. So that'd be kind of what I would say about that. If a card is affected by can't activate when digivolving effects, can I process just the buy condition? No, you can't, because you don't get to activate it at all. So you can't even do part of it. It's not that you can't resolve the effect, you can't even activate it. A card that was given can't activate when digivolving effects digivolve into a card that has a when digivolving, when attacking once per turn effect. Does that count as an instance of its use? No, it doesn't count because you can't activate it. We talked about that. So it doesn't count as your once per turn use. If I use this card's when attacking effect to use an option card from under a tamer, what happens to that option card? As with standard rules, a used option card is temporarily treated as not being in any area. After using it and activating the option card's main effect, the card is trashed unless it is to be placed in an area. Makes sense? This card with ST22 Viximon in its Digitolution card attacks, and I use this card's when attacking effect to use an option card. If I use Viximon's inherited effect to digivolve this card at such times, does this card's end of attack inherited effect trigger at the end of the attack? Inherited effect to digivolve such times. Does this card's end of attack inherited effect trigger at the end of the attack? See that? Yeah. So that's not like when attacking inheritables, because you have to be attacking with that inheritable. If you attack with the Digimon before it digivolves, you can't get that when attacking inheritable. The nice thing about end of attack inheritables is they don't activate until the end of the attack, and since you're digivolving before even getting to blocker timing, that you're that Digimon before you reach that stage. Basically, you have to be the Digimon in that stage, or you have to have that inheritable underneath a Digitolution source during the beginning of that stage, which is why when attacking doesn't work, because if you attack and you digivolve, you've already entered that stage before digivolving, so you don't get to gain that when attacking. Whereas with the end of attack, because you're digivolving during the attack and you haven't got to that end of attack timing, now when you enter end of attack timing, if the Digimon's still there, now you have that inheritable at the start of that end of attack timing, therefore you get it. If that makes sense, I guess. Screamon Ace, I use this card's hand counter blast digivolve during my opponent's counter timing. When I use this, when digivolving effect, to play a Pipe Fox token. At such time, can I use the Pipe Fox token to block during block timing? Yes, you can. If I use this card's on play, when digivolving when attacking effect, to use an option card from under a tamer, what happens? Same thing. It gets used and then it goes to the trash. And if it doesn't, or if it gets placed somewhere else, then it doesn't go to the trash. If I use this card to attack and use its when attacking effect to play a Pipe Fox token, can I then use Alliance to suspend? Yes, you can, because you get to activate your effects in your order, so you don't have to activate Alliance until you want to. Talmon with Viximon and its Digitolution card attacks, I use Talmon's when digivolving effect to use an option card. If I use Viximon's inherited effect to digivolve at such times, can I activate Alliance? No, you can't activate Alliance. Is an effect that triggers upon attack. In this case, Talmon's attack is in its current state, where this card's Alliance hasn't triggered, therefore can't activate. So basically, because it's not part of the chain of events, because it's not part of the chain of events, you don't get the alliance. That's why that's there. Again, you weren't. If you were that maid mode, or sorry, is it maid mode or is it just ace? Sukumon ace. If you were Sukumon ace when you started that attack, you have the right to use alliance whenever you want to. You don't have to activate it the first thing. That's why you can like play Digimon, play a Pipe Flock token and then use alliance, because you're using all those effects in whatever order you so choose. But the problem is when you Digivolve, that effect is separate from the chain of effects that happened when you did your one attacking. Therefore, you can't use the alliance. That's why like cards like Jesmon, it lets you attack after you Digivolve. So you go into your opponent's end phase, you basically play it. You go your save your Huckmon, end of turn, suspend something, Digivolve. And then when you hit Jesmon on the board, you meet his conditions for the May attack, because then you're already Jesmon. It's kind of confusing, but it does make sense in the same way that you can't use the when attacking inheritable when you Digivolve, up to something else. If I maid mode, so if I use this card's on play when Digivolving effect from under Tamer, what happens to the option card? Same thing. It either gets played and stays on the field, or goes wherever it's supposed to go, or it goes to the trash. This is timing, same timing ones. And then in what order do security effect when blank performs a security check effect, and when this card is removed from the security stack effect activate when they trigger simultaneously upon a security check. Security effects take precedence for activation. Upon a security check, a security effect will immediately activate without pending activation. For other triggered effects, the turn player activates their effects first. I tried to use this card's alternate effect to place an opponent's Digimon as the bomb security card, but another effect prevented that Digimon from leaving. At such time does this card effect trash an opponent's security card? No, it isn't trashed. You have to put something in there and then you can trash it. I tried to use this card's alternate effect to place an opponent's Digimon on the bomb security, but another event prevented that Digimon from leaving. At such times does this count as this once per turn? Yes, it counts, because you tried to use it as soon as you choose to place the Digimon, even if it doesn't work. Rika, if an effect places this card under this card, well, it is already has one or more cards under it. In what order do I place the cards? You place it at the bottom of the card, so you basically just like bottom Digivolution card. A level 5 Talmon attacks, and this card's your turn effect triggers at such times if another effect Digivolves the attacking Digimon to level 6 Sukumon. What is the cost of the option card that can be activated using this card's your turn effects? 6 cost or less. The level of the attacking Digimon is referenced during the timing when this card's your turn effect activates. My Digimon with Renamon, Cubimon, Talmon, or Sukumon, its name attacks, and this card's your turn effect triggers. If another effect that Digivolves the attacking Digimon and it no longer has blah 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 blah, and its name can still activate the effect. Yes, you can, because they started the attack. If I use this card's your turn effect to use an option card from under this card, what happens to the option card? Yeah, it either gets played, goes, stays, for a delay effect, links, or it goes to the trash. Same kind of stuff. Offensive plugin, if this card's linked to a Digimon, if this card activates a link effect, is that effect considered a Digimon effect or an option card effect? It is considered a Digimon effect when it's linked. Due to an effect, I can't use option cards. Can I pay this card's link cost and link it to one of my Digimon? Yes, you can still link it. Isn't the same as using an option card. Same for this one, basically. Amethyst Mandala, if this card's first effect, and when a card is removed from security stack, effect triggers simultaneously. When this card is trashed from the security stack, in what order do they activate. Turn player activates their effect first. If both effects are the turn players, they can activate them in any order. What is a security effect? We know what a security effect is. It's what's checked upon a security check. Security effect can be triggered, activated while this card is face up in security stack, and such effects can't be triggered or activated in other areas than face up security cards. Yeah. So it's basically for face up security cards. I have multiple copies of this card face up in my security stack. When my Digimon with Renamon, Cubimon, Tatamon, or Sakuyamon and its name would leave the battle area, then by battle can activate the security alternates effect on the first copy, and then can I then activate the second effect of this copy? Yes, you can. 2 copies of this card trigger simultaneously when your Digimon with So yeah, you can use it to protect up to 2 times. And then I have this card placed face up in my security stack. If this card's security alterns effect activates when multiples of my Digimon would leave the battle area, what happens? You can choose one of your Digimon is prevented from leaving the battle area. If you have another face-up copy of this card in your security stack, alternates effects on those copies will also activate, and you can choose one more Digimon. So basically, you just save them one at a time. Defense plugin F, it's going to have the same stuff as the other Link plugins. Dogachimon, this card has 3 different cards in its app fusion requirements. What combinations are possible? There you go. I'm not going to go through all of them. You can, can I use this card's when attacking effect to link a card that doesn't have a link? No, you can't. I use this card's when attacking effect to link BT21 Dogachimon. At such times can I use Dogachimon's link effect to attack? No, you can't. A new attack declaration can't be made during an attack. So he's got to be there before the attack starts. That's what we've been talking about. This card attacks and it uses its raid, and when attacking effect triggers simultaneously. Then I first activate the when Digimon to link Timemon, and I use BT21 Haru, your turn effect to fuse to Globemon. After that, can I activate raid on this card? No, you can't. Raid has already been lost, therefore it can't be activated. However, then when raid and when attacking effect trigger simultaneously, so you can activate raid first and then activate. So you can activate the raid into the Digimon, and then do all the when it's Digivolving attacks. Turn player priority, you got to know when to activate your effects and how. Grand Galemon, can use this card's on play when Digivolving effect to suspend either my Digimon or opponents. Yes, either can be suspended. At the end of the turn, use Vortex on this card to attack an opponent's Digimon. This Digimon was deleted in battle, and I use Fortitude to play this card from the trash. At such times, can I gain Vortex? Again, no. Vortex on this card triggers at the timing upon the end of turn. If this card attacks using the triggered Vortex, then gets Fortitude. Vortex effect is deleted in battle and played using Fortitude, and Vortex on this card hasn't triggered after being played, therefore it can't activate because you're already in the end, so you missed the Vortex timing. Barbamon, we got some Barbamon. Opponent has 5 cards in their hands, 5 cards in their trash. Can I activate this card's first effect and pay it with the cost of 5? No, you can't. This card's first effect activates when your opponent has 10 or more cards in their hand or 10 or more cards in their trash. Then the play cost will be reduced by 5. It doesn't activate when the total number of cards in hand and trash is 10. My opponent has 10 cards in their hand, 10 cards in their trash. Can I activate this card's first effect? What is the reduction? It's still just 5. It's just a 5 play. Either or. If you have 10 in hand, 10 in trash, either or. Wizardmon's got the same type of option card timing, the promo Wizardmon. And that's it. That's the end of it. So that is our errata update for ST22. Some good stuff in there for when the starter deck comes out in, just like a week or two. It's about 2 weeks we'll have the starter deck. So tell me what you guys think about this, all the Q&A stuff. Are you excited for Amethyst Mandala? What do you think about the new rulings? And does this help you with understanding the deck a little bit more? But it looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day. And that's all for now, folks.